Hey friends, it's Andrews here. If you're a fan of survival games but don't have an internet connection, I've got some good news for you. You've come to the right place. Today I'm going to share with you 16 offline survival games that you can play right now, so let's get straight to it. Hit that like button and let's dive in. Let's kick things off with a game that just left the Play Store, but don't worry, you can still enjoy it with no problem. I'm talking about Green Project. You play as an astronaut from UZAR, a fictional space agency who's been stuck in orbit for years during a global pandemic. When you finally return to Earth, you discover that civilization has collapsed and the planet is completely barren, polluted, and devoid of life. Your mission? Bring life back to Earth by planting trees, growing crops, and turning the desolate land into fertile soil once again. Of course, the game features an intriguing survival system complete with monsters and plenty of crafting mechanics, but the real focus here is on planting and how you'll literally bring the planet back to life. If you enjoy games like Don't Starve, Project Zomboid, or Aground, you'll find that Green Project offers a unique experience with an eco-friendly twist all about rebuilding the planet. Now let's talk about a game that's totally forgotten and underrated on Android, but definitely not by me. I'm talking about DayZ, Unturned Zombie Survival. In DayZ, you take on the role of a survivor in a world overrun by zombies. The main goal is to explore the environment for supplies and gear, build a safe base, and face off against the infected creatures and the character's basic survival needs. This is what we'd call a more classic down-to-earth survival game. It delivers a solid experience in all aspects, like an interesting FPS and a vast open world full of houses and things to explore as much as possible. If you enjoy survival games with elements of building and resource management, DayZ could be a great pick to dive into. Let's talk about one of the most famous and downloaded games in this genre, Don't Starve Pocket Edition. In this game, you play as Wilson, a scientist who gets tricked by a demon named Maxwell and transported to a wild, dark world. Your goal is to survive as long as possible, facing strange creatures, harsh weather conditions, and psychological challenges like managing your character's sanity. I think this game is so popular because it's truly unique. The sanity of your character is a key factor in your success, which is pretty amazing. And the fact that you're not on Earth makes things even more intense, as you never know which monster might be lurking, ready to end your life. If you enjoy challenging games with complex survival mechanics and a truly unique atmosphere, don't starve. Pocket Edition is a fantastic choice. Here's a game that's completely unknown to many and a lot of people don't even realize it's a survival game. Let's talk about ARIDA, BACKLANDS Awakening. The protagonist is Cicera, a 13-year-old girl facing the challenges of a severe drought in the Brazilian backlands in 1896. With courage and determination, she sets off to find her parents, navigating the harsh environment and relying on the teachings of her grandfather and the help of local villagers. The gameplay is unique, set in an almost barren place that feels lifeless. Cicera must overcome these challenges to survive, facing great obstacles the game throws her way. ARIDA has received positive reviews, praise for its engaging narrative and one-of-a-kind setting. This game is the first in a trilogy, with the sequel ARIDA 2, Rise of the Brave, set to release in 2025. I got totally hooked on this game. It's really unique and interesting. Let's talk about Stranded on a Raft. You're all alone on a raft in the vast ocean. To survive, you'll need to collect floating materials like wood and leaves, which you can use to expand your raft, build structures, and craft essential tools. It's also crucial to manage your basic needs like hunger and thirst while protecting yourself from threats, especially sharks that can attack your raft. You're probably familiar with the game Raft, which inspired this one, but what makes Stranded on a Raft stand out is its simplicity while still being quite engaging. Unlike many other survival games, it offers a much more complicated path to survival. A single mistake and your character is gone. If you enjoy survival games with building elements and resource management, Stranded on a Raft delivers a challenging and immersive experience. I really believe this is a Russian game and it's so well made that I got completely hooked on it. Let's talk about Bunker 21 2. In this game you play as Andrei, the last survivor in a devastated world. Your mission is to explore the mysterious Bunker 21, facing hostile creatures and uncovering secrets from the past. This is what I'd call a more traditional survival game, but it has some deeper mechanics and even an interesting open world to explore. The search for Bunker 21 is constant in the game. You'll need to drive cars, fight zombies, and do whatever it takes to survive in this crazy world full of zombies. If you're looking for a complete survival game with some unique mechanics, Bunker 21 is definitely worth checking out. Let's talk about a game that might seem simple at first, but gets pretty challenging once you start playing, Forest Camp. At first glance, this game looks pretty basic, mainly due to its graphics, but once you dive in, you'll notice its difficulty and its simple yet deep mechanics. To put it simply, it's a bit like Minecraft, but with some extra screens you need to unlock as you progress the tasks. The game is tough, enemies pop up constantly, and your character can't die because it features permadeath. Your goal is to keep your character alive. Unlike many other survival games, your character doesn't have a hunger or thirst bar, for example, but you'll have to mine way more than any other game you've played on Android. Here's a game that's fairly well known, though I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely interesting. Let's talk about Mini DayZ 2. In Mini DayZ, you're dropped into a post-apocalyptic world where you must explore randomly generated maps in search of essential resources like food, water, weapons, and medical supplies. Along with dealing with zombies and wild animals, you'll also have to face harsh weather conditions and constantly manage your health, hunger, and thirst levels. One thing I really like about Mini DayZ is its open world. Unlike many other games, the looting in this one is actually quite rewarding. There's a lot of interesting houses and even cars to loot. However, one thing that always frustrated me was fighting the zombies. Anything action related in this game seems really difficult to pull off. This game might seem simple and straightforward, but it hides an extreme level of difficulty and an interesting gameplay. Let's talk about BEASTRIA. In BEASTRIA, you're thrown into a wild and unforgiving environment where you must gather resources, build shelters, and face unique enemies to survive. The game combines action, exploration, and construction elements, offering a rich and engaging experience. I tried playing the game, and I've got to say I was dying every 5 minutes. It's one of those hardcore games with no tutorial to guide you, and of course it features permadeath, which makes everything even more challenging. Players highlight the charming pixel art aesthetic and the variety of enemies as positives. However, some mention the steep learning curve and scarcity of resources as additional challenges. I absolutely love this game, both for those quick matches with other players and for offline play. Let's talk about the OUTLANDS 2. In this sequel, the big highlight is the addition of multiplayer mode, letting you play solo or with up to 5 friends. You can explore the world, build bases, gather resources, and face zombies and other players. The game offers a dynamic experience where your choices truly impact your survival, i.e. this might actually be the only game on our list that features a true, challenging PvP experience. Unlike the offline games where you're playing solo, the OUTLANDS 2 has multiple servers you can join completely for free. If you're a fan of survival games with elements of construction and exploration, the OUTLANDS 2 offers an engaging and challenging experience. I recently discovered this game and I was really surprised by its complexity. Let's talk about Little Village no País. In Little Village, you start with a single villager and expand your community by building houses, farms, and other essential structures. The game combines elements of construction, farming, and resource management, offering a rich and strategic gameplay experience. Unlike other strategy games in Little Village, you're more like a god managing an entire colony. You need to build your own house, make sure your villagers are happy with good meals and proper living conditions, which directly impacts their productivity. Players praise the relaxing gameplay and the strategic depth of Little Village. The ability to customize the village and manage the villagers in detail are standout features. This is definitely one of the best games on this list when it comes to being fully offline and packed with resources. Let's talk about DYSMANTLE. After years in an underground shelter, you emerge into a devastated world dominated by nature and inhabited by dangerous creatures. With no other humans in sight, your mission is to find a way to escape the cursed island, facing the challenges that arise along the way. The game offers many interesting resources, like how with the right tools you can dismantle over 99% of the environment's objects to gather materials like plastic, rubber, and metal. The game also features an open world to explore with plenty of lost objectives scattered around the map. It has compelling crafting mechanics and without a doubt is the best survival game on this list when it comes to offline play. I'm not even sure how this one is still on the Play Store as it's pretty old. Let's talk about the legendary Occupation. Tak.
Hello.
In Occupation, you take on the role of a survivor in a city overrun by zombies and monsters. The game combines elements of shooting, exploration, and strategy, offering an immersive experience with day and night cycles that affect gameplay. Unlike many games on our list, this one leans more towards action. The beginning can be a bit confusing, not really knowing where to go, but soon you'll start receiving help and missions from the locals and you'll get the hang of how the game works. It offers some cool features like building an NPC team to help in your battles, and switching between third-person and first-person modes, among other things. Players praise the freedom of exploration and the variety of enemies. However, some mention that the graphics and the AI of the NPCs could use some improvement. This next game is brand new, literally just released for you all. Let's talk about the beautiful CRASHLANDS. You return as Flux Dabiz, the intergalactic trucker and Bureau of Shipping employee. After a mysterious incident, Flux finds himself stranded on a new alien planet filled with quirky creatures and unknown challenges. The mission is clear: survive, make allies, and find a way to escape this chaotic world. CRASHLANDS might remind you of Don't Starve that we've talked about before, but without the dark touch and with a lot more humor. Unlike the first game, which used procedural generation, CRASHLANDS 2 presents a carefully designed world, offering a more meaningful exploration experience. Of course, it features a full crafting system typical of survival games, but what sets it apart is its unique blend with RPG elements. If you enjoy it, this is definitely the game you'll lose yourself in for hours on end. I have a feeling that PIXELTERRA might be one of those hidden gems that only a few of us know about. Let's talk about it. In PIXELTERRA, you play as a lone survivor in a hostile world where survival depends on building shelters, collecting resources, and defending yourself from monsters. The game features a day-night cycle and even weather effects that impact your gameplay. What's impressive about this game is that it offers over 100 items for crafting, which is quite a lot for a game that seems simple at first glance. It also stands out as the first game on our list that allows you to adjust the difficulty, switching to a smoother experience without monsters or even hunger. If you enjoy survival games with crafting elements and a retro aesthetic, PIXELTERRA provides a challenging and immersive experience. Forest Spirit Farm is a fresh new title that takes you away from the hustle of city life and drops you into a vast, wild environment. The goal is to build a farm from scratch, growing crops, raising animals, and connecting with friendly locals who will help you along your journey. While it might initially remind you of Stardew Valley with its farming focus, after just 10 minutes of gameplay, you'll realize this game takes a different approach, focusing more on survival in a way reminiscent of Minecraft. The key difference: there are no dangerous threats like zombies or monsters here. It's all about surviving in a new, untamed environment, managing resources, and adapting to the land. If you're a fan of games that blend agriculture, exploration, and combat in a natural setting, Forest Spirit Farm and Fight is definitely an engaging and diverse experience. Cozy Islands is a charming and soothing survival crafting game where you begin with an empty plot of land, filled only with trees and rocks. Your mission? Transform this blank space into a cozy home by gathering resources, crafting items, and building houses to support the happiness and growth of the island's residents. What makes Cozy Islands stand out is its serene, pressure-free gameplay. Unlike many survival games, there are no monsters or zombies to battle. It's purely about creating a peaceful haven, exploring nearby islands for hidden treasures, and enjoying the simple joy of building. If you enjoy games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, Cozy Islands offers a similar experience with a relaxing focus on construction, exploration, and personal growth. And that wraps up our list of survival games for today. Whether you're into crafting, building, or just surviving the elements, there's a game on this list for everyone. If you've enjoyed any of these games or discovered something new, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more awesome game recommendations.